SEC Chair Gary Gensler comes out, and by the way, Gary Gensler is loved by the XRP folks. He's a sweetheart. They just love him. They always send him nice love letters. But he comes out and says the following. He says, accompanying the agency's approval of Bitcoin ETFs, warned that the fund's approval shouldn't be taken as an indication the agency is backing off crypto enforcement. Here's his quote. Today's action does not approve or endorse crypto trading platforms or intermediaries which for the most part are non-compliant with the federal securities law and often have conflict of interest. So some may say, well, isn't this kind of like if ETF approves of these 11 applications, isn't this like one step closer for regulation? Like that's exactly what Gary wants. No? Isn't he trying to find out exactly what's going on with the money there? Possibly. We can talk about that as well.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thanks Crypto here. Today's video is going to start off with a banger as Patrick Bet David, one of my favorite entrepreneurs in the world, shouts out the XRP community because he understands that we have been 100% correct and injustice has been done. And John Deaton shined a light on all the melancholy that XRP community had to deal with the SEC. And now we've been proven 100% correct. Ripple's 3-0 in court against the SEC. And we're about to be 4-0 court because this ruling, this final ruling, and their conclusion to this case is over in April. This is a special time to be alive if you're an XRP holder, and that was a powerful shout-out from one of my favorite entrepreneurs. He recently bought a part of the New York Yankees, and guys, I'm a massive baseball fan. This is one of those things where I see the writing on the wall when people in the highest levels of success are all beginning to turn bullish on XRP, as simultaneously retail investors are tired of holding it. This is a leading indicator of the better times to come. Ladies and gentlemen, from XRP Nurse, I can almost smell it. We went through the bear market. We went through the SEC lawsuit. We went through a suppressed price. We went through all the FUD, all the escrow nonsense, hopium nonsense. And then, after all of that, I can bet you there's going to be a mass amount of people that just call us lucky. They will never know what we've been through, but they're going to get the pleasure of watching from the sidelines at our success. Ladies and gentlemen, XRP is the crypto of 2024. And Gemini, who is no friend of XRP, is beginning to shill the living hell out of XRP at the top of their lungs. What do you think that means? That means bank money is on our way. I don't believe that it is still true. And they're smacking you in the face with the truth. Not only that, but at the same time, BC Backer put out a chart that I think should calm a lot of your fears. This dip was right on cue. Orders above talked about this dip as well. And this is a final cockback of a moment, and that XRP price before the God candle of truth rises to the forefront. Whether that happens within a week or within a month or two is irrelevant. But the fact of the matter is, it is here and all at the same time as XRP community sentiment has reached peak lows. And this might be the biggest bullish indicator yet. Here we have Mr. Mubarak stating that having been in the XRP community for a long time, I can honestly say, I've never seen so many in the community feel so deflated, so frustrated and angry, and hopelessness has permeated through many posts. I can 100% agree with this sentiment. It's actually worse now than the time where we were in the midst of fighting the SEC lawsuit. The community actually came back and had resolve and determination. We had a goal that united all of us. We circled the wagon around the vision that Ripple victory meant we reached the promised land. That vision of a promised land now gets crushed by the reality of XRP impotence and by the wave that is carrying other all 12, leaving XRP slowly drowning. I close by mentioning this quote. There are defining moments in life when faced with the choice of giving up or carrying on. And right now, this is when we all need to continue to hold strong. Diamond hands your XRP while you still can. Accumulate more at these low levels while you still can. This is the dusk before dawn. This is the final pullback before moon mission. This is the healthiest XRP has ever been. The price is free to reign and do its thing with no lawsuit and check. It's been relisted to all exchanges. Brad Garlinghouse has been flexing everywhere. Ripple partnerships and XRP technological advancements have been prevalent. Builders have been building, and all this while we got the biggest institutional news in Bitcoin history. Ladies and gentlemen, also, I believe there will be a day where Ripple will be forced to be used, unlike any other crypto in the world before. And in reality, XRP is going to be needed more than Bitcoin ever will be. I think the ETF was actually a Trojan horse meant to limit Bitcoin's overall growth, while simultaneously allowing for the platform for XRP to reign free. And while this is speculation for right now, man, oh man, does Patrick Bet David give a great take in the rest of this Bitcoin ETF video?
Let's take a look at some of the dates here and see what happened. On June 16th, 2023, BlackRock filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. They called it iShares Bitcoin Trust. At the time, Bitcoin was trading at $25,500, but quickly shot up beyond $30,000. Bitcoin has gained roughly 63% since BlackRock filed its ETF application, and BlackRock names JP Morgan as authorized participant for spot Bitcoin ETF, which means, in a way, JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock is saying Bitcoin is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. However, this can't all be good, right? Like, you got to sit there and say, there's got to be something bad about this. Does it hurt any aspect of Bitcoin? Here's what Arthur Hayes had to say. He's the co-founder of BitMEX. He says BlackRock will completely destroy Bitcoin. Now, why is that? Based on their direct and indirect investment, it is estimated that BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard collectively own 1% and 2% of all Bitcoin in circulation. Hayes' argument is that if BlackRock, which is in the asset accumulation game, vacuums up all the Bitcoin, there will be no more Bitcoin transactions, and those who secure the Bitcoin network in return for fees and newly minted Bitcoin, known as miners, would be unable to afford the energy it costs to secure the network. As a result, they would shut off their machines. Without the miners, the network dies and Bitcoin vanishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you guys say, oh no, that's far-fetched. Oh no, that's impossible. You need to listen and realize that all it takes to do a scenario like this is money. And when you have the largest asset manager on the planet, BlackRock, that literally controls trillions, man, they have governments answering to them. When you have BlackRock in the game, you have to realize that these doomsday scenarios are in fact possible. The ETF was 100% a sell the news event like we called on this channel with precision. And you can see Grayscale was looking to move yet again another $900 million worth of Bitcoin at Coinbase. And it looks like they're getting ready to delve even more. Look at how the elites play the game and you'll always be one step ahead.
So now, why is he saying this? What's the big deal with miners? Like, what do you mean if they don't do anything with it? Are miners that important? Look how much Bitcoin devours electricity, more than many countries out there. When you look at this chart at the top, you'll see annual electricity consumption in comparison. China's number 1, US is 2, Germany's 3, all the world's data centers is 4. Look what's next. Bitcoin. More than Norway, more than Bangladesh, more than Switzerland, more than Google, more than Facebook. It's more than Google and Facebook combined times 8. That's a lot of energy. So his argument comes back to how Bitcoin transactions work. To limit inflation, Bitcoin creator designed Bitcoin to only have 21 million Bitcoins. However, Bitcoin only exists if it moves. When a Bitcoin transaction is made, miners take the information and apply a mathematical formula verifying the transaction and adding it to the blockchain. This process is known as proof of work. It's called that because the process of mining is very hard and time-consuming, requiring large amounts of processing power and time. Multiple confirmations, other miners verifying the blocks, are typically needed for a transaction to be considered secure. As a reward for their services, miners are paid in Bitcoin for each new block they add to the blockchain.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I showed you all that is to reiterate the fact that Bitcoin is proof of work technology, and we're heading into an ESG and climate agenda age. The elites that run the world are all in on climate change and crypto. Bitcoin mining specifically is at the peak of their agenda to harness and to rein in. Guys, the reason I say this is not to instill fear, on the contrary, is to let you know that there is going to be a new paradigm shift within crypto. And the big paradigm shift, I believe, starts in March, April. After this XRP case is 110% officially over. Once the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and we see how much Ripple has to pay in legal damages, there will be nothing holding XRP back. We are heading into an age where the best technology and crypto is going to win. And Bitcoin on its own, in my opinion, will not be the sole factor in determining which cryptos get to move. The entire crypto market moving on, only Bitcoin's price action is toxic. We need a paradigm shift within the crypto space. And I believe Once XRP is completely free, just how we were an outlier in 2021 because we did not reach new all-time highs. Due to the SEC case, I believe this time around, with all the bullish momentum around all the partnerships we've been getting about CBDCs launching worldwide, about getting relisted on all exchanges, and maybe even a potential Ripple IPO. Oh, I think we're going to see Ripple and XRP really take charge of the crypto space. Remember back in the day when Chris Larsen recommended you change the code in Bitcoin of proof of stake? Chris Larsen is really deep in the elite class in San Francisco. He has been at Ripple since the beginning, and when he suggests something, and when he proposes something, genuinely speaking, I think it's because there's more than meets the eye there. Ladies and gentlemen, stay the course and pay attention. I believe the Bitcoin ETF was a Trojan horse for Bitcoin and the idealist Maxis in the crypto space, but it's the best possible thing that could have happened for institutional adoption and institutional money to give credibility to the crypto space. And I think 2024 will be the year of crypto utility and adoption, gaining a lot of momentum. Don't believe that it's still true. And I cap off this video for today. I'm going to leave you with Brad Garlinghouse at Davos, putting the nail in the coffin. Just look at all of the people he's in the room with. He's speaking directly to the people that move the world. And the reason Brad Garlinghouse keeps getting invited to the World Economic Forum is because they need him and they know the power that Ripple and XRP has. Ladies and gentlemen, stay the course. The XRP army will be vindicated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thanks Crypto here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
I'll echo, I think it's a huge moment. I think if you look at people's interest in the asset class, it's been very high. And look, I think a lot of people don't want to set up a crypto wallet. They don't want to, incur the extra risk of, managing that themselves. And so the Bitcoin ETF, I think, is a very big deal. I think the institutions that are participating, I've been involved in this industry for about 10 years, and, having Blackrock as one of the ETF providers, sponsors, what have you, is a big deal. Added credibility to the whole industry.
Yep. And any more to say on the part of my question that was just about sort of the difference between this comeback and all of the other comebacks we've seen? I think it's a natural question to wonder for people that might still be a little bit skeptical. Is this just the same old cycle? Are we going to see it go down again? I mean, all markets do that, of course, but I'd be curious to hear your perspective on that.
Look, I think the remarkable thing is that Bitcoin is over $40,000. We've had massive headwinds in 2023. A lot of those were self-inflicted wounds. I was talking to a couple people before the panel. Over the last 18 months, you've had Celsius, Three Arrows, FTX, Binance, and yet here we are, as Michael described, in a really interesting, looking forward position. I'm extremely optimistic about 2024. So I think, if anything, it's an opportunity to step back and really focus on some of the first principles. And what I mean by that is compliance always mattered. I think that we're now at a time, if we want crypto to flourish and achieve some of the things we want it to in the future, I think we have to make sure we stay true to those first principles. We have to make sure we're focused on something more than speculation. Utility has always mattered. I think sometimes we lost sight of that in the fervor. But again, people had, as Michael described, I think it wasn't so many Davoses ago that people were like, Bitcoin's, it's done.
Yep.
And yet here we are. I'll throw out one quick reaction. In your question, you said something about, how is it different? And I'll say, I think the question is wrong. Like, it's not different. KYC, know your customer, still matters. Anti-money laundering still matters. In the US, you have OFAC and other, I can't name all the acronyms. But I think if we start with the point of view that it's different, it's like, I think the secretary said earlier, if it's the same, let's regulate it the same. And so I don't think it's that different. The other thing is a slightly off topic, but that we glanced over. One of the things I think will happen if I were to predict 2024 and beyond, as big money, institutional money comes in, right now we have one ETF. I think people look at it as an asset class, and I think you will see other ETFs come. And by the way, this is an area where the US is behind. Europe has had effectively a Bitcoin ETF for a few years. And I think you're going to see that spread because people often, particularly if you're in an endowment or an institution, you're not buying one stock, you're not buying one bond, you're buying a basket and you're diversifying that risk.